Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we are here with another XDL match. If you missed last week, there will be a link right here, and we played a doozy against Pokemon Cast, so be sure to check it out. For the season, we are 2-0 in sets and 4-0 in games. We have not lost yet, and we are going to try to keep that going this week. Our opponent is Viz, or Visually. He has two channels, one where people rage at him on Pokemon Showdown, and one which is a lot more competitively focused. He does a bunch of draft leagues, he's done singles content across various different formats, he's done some double stuff as well. A lot of high quality content there, so make sure to check both of his channels out. There will be links in the descriptions as per usual. So jumping into our preparation, you can see his team on screen, and at this point we have two matches to watch as well. He is 1-1 right now, having beaten Ashton Cox and having lost to Alex Gomez. As you can see, his team is very offensive. There aren't any defensive pivots at all. It just kind of goes in. And I think he's played really well so far. He's demonstrated really solid decision making, but I have caught onto some trends in his team building. I think his team building is generally pretty greedy. He thinks of a cool interaction and tries to build around it, or at least that's kind of the vibe that I got. For example, he had Weakness Policy Bisharp and Scarf Bulldoze Dracovish, and he had Weather Ball Landorus and Sunny Day Alakazam. So really anything is on the table, but that being said, these sort of strategies require turns to work. You're investing 2 turns to get that initial attack off, and then from the second attack onwards, you're probably getting more value than just attacking twice on turn 1. And so if we give him time to set up, he's going to be able to execute whatever he wants, and that's kind of how Ashton lost to him, by trying to abuse Iron Defense Celesteela, which in theory does really well into his team, but in practice allowed him to set up his win con, which we're not going to let him do. Our goal is to go on the offensive, not give him time to set up, and force him to play on the back foot without any real defensive pivots. Looking at my team, the centerpiece of this game is going to be Thundurus. It outspeeds everything on the team except for Alakazam, and if it clicks Airstream, not only does Thundurus outspeed the entire team, but also my partner outspeeds the entire team as well. Unburdened Slurpuff, I guess, does outspeed some things, but it doesn't really do anything back, so I'm not worried about it. With the Assault Vest, the Thundurus can take attacks from most of his Pokemon as well. It is weak to Scarf Dracovish. I think that does like 90% to Max Thundurus, but we do have a decent amount of counterplay to that as well. The other thing that I am worried about is the Trick Room mode, especially if I max Thundurus turn 1 and he goes for Follow Me Trick Room. That really sucks. And that is something that like Porygon Z or theoretically like Iron Ball Alakazam could do. The third thing that I'm really worried about is the Ditto, because it can come in, steal the boosts that Thundurus has given itself or its partner. A couple other things from testing that I noticed is that endgame Landorus can be really annoying. I think he is forced to bring Conkeldurr though, because I have a stack Attacka and that rips through his team without that. So that is good information. I expect Conkeldurr, I expect Landorus, I expect Ditto, and I expect Indeedee. I don't think you don't bring your number 1 overall pick. So those are the kind of things that I expect to see. And to go over my counterplay to those things, I think Alakazam does not do enough to Thundurus because I have the Assault Vest. And to do meaningful damage in general, it does need the Psychic Terrain, so Bulu can help deal with that as well. Furthermore, the Choice Scarf Urshifu can outspeed it and do big damage. It can also just U-turn out, doing pretty good damage and letting other things handle it, or it can click Low Sweep and let other things outspeed it. Low Sweep also lets me outspeed Scarf Dracovish, which of course makes Vicious Rend a lot worse of a move. Tapu Bulu also does really well into Dracovish. It has a Grassy Seed, so it takes the attacks really easily. And Jinx is also there for the Dracovish, because if he's forced to lock into Vicious Rend, then I will win the endgame against it. And also, I have a relatively free switch-in to a potential Vicious Rend. Jinx is also there for the Trick Room modes, because I can punish Trick Room setups with Lovely Kiss, or just reverse Trick Room myself. If I never let him switch into his Trick Room abusers, namely Conkeldurr or Porygon Z, he can't really get going, and I can reverse it really easily and get my oppressive offensive game plan moving. I can also start getting speed boosts on Jinx potentially, and that would get really annoying. It takes advantage of his own terrain with Expanding Force. Although that might be a little greedy, I think I might just be supposed to run Ice Beam to hit Landorus, but hitting Porygon Z, if it's Indeedee Porygon Z leads, or hitting like a potential Conkeldurr is really, really valuable. And so maybe this is a little bit of a greedy team building, but c'est la vie, you know. Regarding Ditto, it's probably going to be copying the Thundurus slot, and that means that it can't beat Tapu Bulu 1v1. his transform moves only have 5 PP, and the only thing that hits Tapu Bulu even remotely hard is Fly. And of course, I can just protect on Fly. I also might just have to play smart and not let him get the free switch on the Thundurus slot, which means mostly just KOing the slot that's that's not across from Thundurus, excuse me, that is diagonal from Thundurus. So he is forced to try to switch Ditto in on a potential attack. That is just a really risky play in general. Also, Ditto has a really low HP stat, and it doesn't copy the HP stat. So if it has to click Wild Charge, the recoil might just knock it out if I chip it a little bit. And finally, the Stakataka does have a Chople Berry, which is the fighting resist berry to beat Kinkeldurr in Trick Room. It doesn't actually beat it. I lose to 2 Mach Punches anyways, but I do live at 1 Drain Punch, and with a little bit of chip, Zen Headbutt in terrain might be enough to knock out the Kinkeldurr. Togekiss, of course, is also really good into Kinkeldurr, either by hitting it with a stab move or by forcing it to not click fighting moves. I can bait the Follow Me, click Protect on a turn, forcing it to not click a fighting move onto the slot next to Togekiss, and then it's forced to click the same rock or poison or ice or electric move that would hit Togekiss that I'm sure it does have, but it was forced to click that move for 2 turns in a row, not getting the powerful fighting moves off instead. In general, that is really favorable for me. And so with all that being said, I think that if I can execute my linear game plan, which is just max Thundurus, click max Airstream, and then click damaging moves with the slot next to it, this is going to be a really easy week. I don't think he lets me go with that linear game plan, though. I think he sees that's a very easy thing for me to do, and he's going to have good counterplay to it. If he does have good counterplay to it, then I think I have the tools on the rest of my team to actually be able to play Pokemon and find a way to win. I'm excited to see what he rolls up with, and it's time to play some Pokemon. Hello, everyone. We are back and ready to go. We are never know how to start these out, but just jumping right into it. Really excited. And okay. A lot of things to be scared of. Pikachu, Indeedee, Lando, PZ, Vish, Conk. So basically all the stuff that I expected to see, except for maybe Alakazam. I still, I really just want to power through this with Thundurus, but I'm so scared of Trick Room going up. And I think the Jinx deters the potential... oh man, Pikachu's a little spooky though. I know that one of my testing partners' first reaction was to bring Pikachu, but it's so bad into Thundurus because it can't get paralyzed. And it tanks the attacks pretty well. It just takes so much of an expanding force, right? It must. Okay, we're going to go with Urshifu. I think Urshifu probably just outright KOs it. I'm going to go with Thundurus. Do I want the Bulu? No, I think Bulu is really bad into the... Oh, this is just so not respecting the Pikachu, though. This is really not respecting Pikachu. Bulu respects Pikachu, but Bulu loses to the Landorus, and the Landorus is the thing that I'm really scared of. So we're going to go with this and see what happens. So the idea here is if he leads Indeedee, I can Expanding Force. If he leads Indeedee, I can Expanding Force. If he leads anything else, I can Lovely Kiss. I can generally Lovely Kiss pretty freely into most of his team because nothing actually is significantly faster, although, I guess Landorus is. Okay, so here's the Indeedee PZ lead, so I have to decide between clicking, U-turn Expanding Force and clicking Sleep Powder or Lovely Kiss, right? But I think I'm going to click Lovely Kiss game 1 just to be sure. If he goes for Trick Room stuff, he goes for Trick Room stuff. That's Psychic Seed. Whoa. Okay, so now that makes my decision a lot easier. We are clicking Lovely Kiss every time. We are clicking U-turn. We're going to go into the... we are going to go into the Togekiss, unless he... Yeah, if he maxes, we go into Togekiss. If he doesn't max, we probably still go into Togekiss, yeah. I want the damage onto Porygon Z, I think. No, I probably want to break Indeedee's potential Sash. Yeah, we'll do that. It's not like he can protect through this, you know. There's the Follow Me. We do have to hit this Lovely Kiss, or we have to reverse Trigger, but I think he is clicking Trigger. So let's see if this is Sash or if this is Citrus. It is Citrus. Okay, fair enough. So that is kind of expected. That did very little, so it is probably just very physically bulky. In comes Toad Kiss. If we put this thing to sleep, then we're in an okay spot. Because we just get to, like, let's see, Lovely Kiss, nice, big hit, big hit. We can just reverse Trick Room and, like, Dazzlingly and just Lovely Kiss again, potentially. He doesn't really exert any pressure on us if we do that. What else can we do? What else can we do? He can't switch out, right? He's just never allowed to switch out into the Conkeldurr because... What else can he switch out into? Just Conkeldurr, right? I mean, I guess it could be Dracovish. Dracovish could be scary. Dracovish is really heavily punished by the Jinx existing. I don't know how much his Expanding Force is going to do, because it was Psychic Seed, right? So I think I might just have to reverse Trick Room. But that's just, like, low impact, I guess, is the problem. But I guess that's not the worst, right? Just undoing Trick Room immediately, just, like, setting up for my... Yeah, this is fine. This is fine. We're going to reverse Trick Room. We're going to Dazzling Gleam. And then as soon as he takes a KO, we're going to go back into Thunderous and start just murdering things. That's kind of the goal here. Right, like, the team that he brought is, in fact, very weak to Thunderous. And so there's the Dark Pulse. So that is going into the Jinx. So I guess it could... Trick Room could go away, potentially. But this is just easily Expanding Force range. It must be. I guess we crit. That's why. Cool. So now Expanding Force is actually very threatening. Because I'm pretty sure it outright KOs. Could he have in the back? Could be Landorus, but Landorus is probably not carrying a flying type move, so I don't think it gets a flying type move. It's the main thing. Expanding Force always goes first, so we have to max to get rid of this Toad Kiss to not go down. He can't set up Trick Room again, which is the important part. And if he does max, he probably lives and KOs the Toad Kiss, but that's okay, because then again I get to bring in my my Thunderous and start to go in, which is the goal, right? I get to Airstream Expanding Force, and there's nothing that can really stop that play. I don't actually... Yeah, Expanding Force is kind of worse than I think here. I did mention I was having second thoughts about that at the last minute, but, you know, the sleep really putting in work. We see Dark Pulse here. But this is just such good damage, even around Follow Me. So we'll see the Dazzle. Oh, okay, so this is really slow peasy. Or it was clicking Trick Room. I guess it could just be clicking Trick Room. Right, that is also just an option. So... putting a question mark in my notes so that I know that there's a possibility that this is wrong. But slow peasy would make sense. It is Psychic Seed, right? So it probably implies it's going to be a little bulkier. Here's the Dracovish. So the Dracovish has to choose to lock into, like, the Dracovish might have to choose to lock into a water move here, which is obviously really bad for it. It can also Dynamax, but I expect the Conkeldurr to Dynamax here. What's stopping me from clicking just a double attack, right? There's no speed control. I'm just always the fastest thing on the field. I think I just get to attack. I really do. Do I max Kiss? No, I'm gonna protect Kiss. I'm gonna protect Kiss so that I can Follow Me on my Thunderous's Airstream, assuming that the Jinx goes down. If the Jinx doesn't go down, this is great, right? Like the Jinx gets another attack off. But now I get to Follow Me into max Airstream, which is really valuable because then I guarantee that I'm faster than a potential Scarf Dracovish, which otherwise does potentially like 80-90% to a Dynamax Thunderous. Right, and once I get one Airstream off, then I'm guaranteed faster for the rest of the game. It doesn't matter. But there is a Rock Slide coming out, so it's not even going to do that. And it is Scarf, right? It is faster than the Jinx here. And there's the Rock Fall. Okay, fair enough. Is it Sand Rush? Can't be, right? How do I lose this? Rockfall into... Well, if it's Flame Orb, then it actually gets kind of tricky, right? That's the way... Okay, it's Life Orb. So let's run that calc. Rock Slide into Thunderous. Rock Ball is outright KOing. Okay. The good thing is the Rock Slide from the... I want the Dracovish Rock Slide. It's doing like 23. So this is pretty safe, right? Because the goal here, even if it KOs Togekiss, is get the Airstream off on Conkeldurr. How do I lose? Max Guard is really bad, right? Max Guard is losing for me if the Togekiss goes down, potentially. No, because I should just take 2 of these. Because I really wish I kind of wish I maxed the Togekiss. Anyways, the Max Airstream is going to do a lot. The Dazzling Gleam is hopefully going to KO, and then the Dracovish is locked into Rock Slide and has to deal with an Urshifu in back, which is really difficult for it. And so that might be enough. It can't. Even if I close combat twice, I should just like take these. If it is Sand Rush and not Strong Jaw, then that's like kind of weird, right? But I don't think it would be. Why would it be, right? Okay. Okay. Oh, big dodge. That's huge. But that does very little, right? So, I think that even if I... Yeah, so like, from here, Urshifu KOs the Conkeldurr, assuming that... I just lived with Togekiss too, right? Togekiss just tanked that? No, Togekiss didn't take it, right? Yeah, so that kind of ended the game there. Which is cool, because I never revealed Scarf on Urshifu, so maybe that comes into play later. So I got a little fortunate there, but it's good to know that it is a Trick Room mode. It must be Strong Jaw, right? Because you wouldn't run Sand Rush on a Trick Room team. Maybe you do. Maybe you just run like... No, because we saw it with Scarf. So it can't be. It can't outspeed the Jinx otherwise. Unless I like forgot to put EVs on the Jinx. Is there a fast mode that... So the things that I led there are punished by Pikachu, right? They are pretty heavily punished by Pikachu. Not really, right? Jinx kind of messes up Pikachu. The Pikachu lead would have to be accompanied by something that doesn't that like gets to hit Jinx. So maybe like Conkeldurr, Landorus would be annoying. I guess he doesn't know that I don't have an ice move on Jinx, so he doesn't know that it would be annoying. He saw Trick Room, Expanding Force, Lovely Kiss. He doesn't know that it has Fake Out, right? Because Fake Out is something that you could drop into Psychic Terrain. But it is Scarf, so I really don't think I'm allowed to... No, because I can lead the Urshifu, right? And, okay, so what's the punish, right? If I have to max Thunderous turn 1, that's really bad. I don't max Thunderous into the board state with Indeedee. And so instead I have to, what? Switch out into Bulu and click Snarl. Switch out into Jinx, you turn into Bulu, click Snarl. No, I need to have a stack Attacker then. But we are going to lead Thunderous. I think Thunderous body's one of the leads. Maxing Kiss isn't awful. I think we're going to do this. This just beats all of his faster modes. We're going to go Bulu, because I think it beats a lot of his Pokemon. He has like Poison Jab, and he already revealed one coverage move. I think we need the Jinx. I don't think that Stack Attack does anything. He has so much hate for Stack Attack on his team right now. It just slows down the Porygon Z. But the Porygon Z is very clearly a Trick Room Porygon Z, and while I did... It's very clear that I can't stop Trick Room from going up. I also can... I can reverse Trick Room pretty consistently, and he doesn't have great ways to stop me from doing that. And that's kind of the punish to him clicking Trick Room. We called it. I figured he would want to bring the Pikachu at some point. You don't put Pikachu on the team and not bring it, right? Okay, so here's what I want to know. Here's what I really want to know. The Landorus into the Urshifu. Surging Strikes, if it's a Dynamax Landorus, does 89 max. Okay. So what I'm going to do is instead I'm going to just I'm going to Airstream, and I'm going to trust this to KO Pikachu, I think. I think that's reasonable. This isn't KOing Pikachu. If the Pikachu Gigantamax, this is actually kind of bad. It's doing a lot of damage, and I'm losing my Pokemon, but like I'm fine because I just have speed control here. I am revealing that I am Thunder Wave, Choice Scarf, and I potentially put myself in range of Static. So I really don't like this play. I think I was supposed to double one of the 2 slots and not just target one of them down. But you know, this should be okay. The Pikachu can only do so much. The Pikachu Fake Outs, that's actually problematic. So maybe I was supposed to play around that, but I didn't have a great way to play around Fake Out Pikachu. There's the Landorus Max, so I really was supposed to. I guess I was just going down to it anyways. But now the Pikachu does very little. Like, what is the Pikachu doing to this Thundurus ever? It can like discharge maybe, right? But that doesn't even hit that hard. But we do see the Fake Out, and so I probably am just losing this Urshifu to like a. Oh, it's just so little. Wow. Okay. Okay. But I am faster than everything now. What do I have in back? I have Jinx, right? Okay, there's the Airstream. What flying moves does Landorus get? Just fly, so it has to be physical. Has to be physical. Okay, so the Bulu will not outspeed. The Jinx will outspeed the Pikachu at +1, but not the... The Jinx will outspeed the Pikachu at +1, but not the Landorus. But it's possible Landorus is forced to protect in front of the Jinx. No, he has to double the Jinx if I bring it in, right? Yeah, he has to double the Jinx if I bring it in. So I can fake it out, tank an attack. It could be like a Rock Fall. Or do I have to go into these Airstream Wars? I might have to. It's physical Landorus. What's that thing's attack stat even? It's 125. Oh, that's pretty good. I don't have great options either way. Like I can Airstream Pikachu, and then how do I beat the Land? The Landorus loses endgame to. To Bulu. I'm hoping. Oh, that was crazy. That play was insane. No paralysis. No paralysis. Okay. That play is crazy. I don't think that he's max speed Landorus then. Because, first off, he could be mixed. Mixed Landorus is very reasonable. It could be minus Spadef. If it is minus Spadef, then that's fine. One thing that is really important... Okay, so he could bring Dracovish here, right? That would be a little spooky, because then I do have to click Airstream a third time to counteract the second Airstream on his part. If he is Rockfall, that's annoying. But Indeedee is actually really okay for me, because I get to click Airstream into Expanding Force and do a ton of damage to this Landorus. And that's what's really important here, is doing damage to this Landorus, because what can he have in back? He can Calder with Poison Jab. Porygon Z does not beat Bulu, I don't think, with Snarl. Probably not, right? So I just get to get the free Airstream off here, get this Expanding Force off. Lovely Kiss is probably not worth it. I think Expanding Force does enough, because Lovely Kiss would be going into Indeedee. But I am revealed. So this is where like the information is kind of bad. Like if I had Ice Beam, this is so much easier because I don't have to worry about like. I guess clicking Expanding Force here is very reasonable regardless, right? Because you know that you don't have another great move to click. I will live any attack except for a Rock Fall, right? Oh, and actually the rock ball is really scary because this is physical and it could be pure physical. That's a decent chunk. That's a decent chunk. Yeah, okay, so the rock ball is the scary one, right? Because now it breaks the sash and KOs the Jinx. So I was maybe supposed to switch out. Yeah, so I still go down. I bring in Bulu. I have to, Wild Charge and hope. Okay, so if there's Sludge Bomb on Landers, this is really bad, right? If there's low Sludge Bomb, then, I think this is probably Sand Force, right? Okay, yeah. The Landers was a thing that I wasn't respecting enough. I thought in game. So Wild Charge should KO from here. It is 120. Wrong Pokemon. And then I have to just the rock move. How much is the rock move doing? Thunderous. So it's going to be Rock Slide, Sand Force. Let's call it Adamant for now. 69 to 81 versus non-max Thunderous. If he's not life, right? Oh, in Sandstorm, yeah. 69 to 82. So I could fly. What did fly do? Fly would force him to protect. Fly. I'm still faster if I fly, right? I can fly and Horn Leech. Do I have a way to play around? Let's click fly here, hypothetically. Let's click fly. And if I click protect, I'm in a bad spot. So the Wind Condesi doesn't have Sludge Bomb. We're clicking fly into Landorus. We're clicking Horn Leech into Indeedee. Into Landorus. We're clicking into Landorus. If this is Rock Slide, this is amazing, right? Because I just dodge it. And I get the KO. There it is. Okay, no flinch. For what it's worth, if it's sheer force, I can't flinch. Ah, that's so bad. Okay. That's really not good. Okay. So now the Indeedee redirects the fly. I have to live this. I get my recovery back from Horn Leech. I have to not flinch again. This time I have to target the Indeedee because the Landorus could very feasibly protect. I don't think fly KOs is the problem. Oh, that's huge. Okay, live a Rock Slide, Horn Leech, have Dracovision back. That's the way you win. Live the Rock Slide, step 1. Horn Leech, step 2. Okay. What loses in back? What wins in back? Excuse me. PZ is annoying. PZ is slower than Bulu unless it was the Trick Room set. Unless it clicked Trick Room that turn, then it's not slower than Bulu potentially. The Bulu isn't that fast. I forget if it outspeeds Modest Porygon-Z. It certainly doesn't outspeed Timid. I think I hit like 129 speed. I was trying to outspeed. Okay, Dracovish. Okay, so this really doesn't have great ways to hit. This really doesn't have great ways to hit the Thunderous, especially a +2. It has to click a Rock Slide. Electroweb doesn't mean I have speed, so it has to be like I can fly, or I can Wild Charge, but I don't want to Wild Charge because I don't want to go down, right? Or I can Superpower. And Superpower does. Fly does the most. Fly loses to a. Fly does the most. I think Fly is the move to click. Because Fly gives Bulu 2 turns. If it's like Poison Jab, this is just awful, right? But I can't go down to recoil. There's no value in going down to recoil. And I should live a Sandstorm turn. Yeah, there's the Rock Slide. Oh, that's just never KOing Bulu. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. All right, y'all. All right, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. It's got to get a lot of rock slide flinches from here. All right. Yeah, no, so overall, I actually really respect the game plan. I thought Trick Room was absolutely the way to go into my team. When I built my initial draft of my team, I was absolutely losing to it. Or rather, it wasn't that I was losing to it. It was that I was not able to deal with the Trick Room mode and the faster mode at the same time. And I had to like call when they let Ndidi Porygon Z which one. And so it's just a really difficult matchup, honestly. And so again, this is where the preparation just really, really paid off. I got to shout out all my homies who are keeping me in this league, because without them, I wouldn't be able to do as well as I have been. Because we're 6-0 in games, 3-0 in sets. This is insane. This is crazy. I'm feeling really good about this. Again, good games to Viz. I think that his prep was on point this week. His play was solid. Like he got punished by the. He got punished by like a rock slide miss and a good sleep turn for me in game 1, and then game 2 I just like called the leads correctly and still almost got outplayed. And that one turn where he protected the Landorus was really punishing for him, I think. But like also was totally fair if his Landorus wasn't max speed, or if he was like just generally scared of, like he couldn't know that I didn't have an ice move on Jinx. But yeah, it feels real good to be 3-0. And yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying this. I had a good time that match. But we're going to keep it up, and yeah. And so again, if you want to watch the other games, those are of course in the same playlist. If you want to check out Viz's channel and watch all of his games for XDL, other draft leagues, other formats as well as VGC, make sure to check him out. It's in the description down below. Thank you all for tuning in, and until next time, we'll see you all